What freaked up thing did you do as a kid? I thought it would be a great practical joke to bury a corn holder. Small handle with 2 sharp prongs to hold corn on the cob. Pointy side up in my yard and wait for someone to step on it. Of course, being a kid after all, I lost interest after a time and forgot. Sometime later in the summer, while walking barefoot, yes, I stepped on it. Frick, that hurt. Learned a valuable lesson about practical jokes. Settle down, little Viet Cong lol. I was 12 and tried searching everywhere for pee of children of my age because I didn't like looking at adults. Boy, was I stupid. I did this around the same age, still surprised no one ever bashed our door down. When I was 6 or so, I convinced the girl who lived next door, who was intellectually disabled and a couple years older, that I had built a robot clone of myself. I would go inside and come back out acting like a robot, complete with glitchy speech and movement. Then when I got tired of pretending to be a robot, I would tell her I needed to recharge and switch back. I thought this was going to take a very, very dark turn. This one is way more innocent than the others. Around kindergarten age, I put my willy underneath a teddy bear, in front of everyone, and said, "Look, the teddy bear has a dong." A young comedian, I was. When I was 11, my friend and I soaked a tennis ball in gasoline and lit it on fire, and with gloves on tossed it around with my friend. Just cause. Ended up throwing it to him in an arc and he missed and it slid down his chest, leaving an on fire gasoline trail on his shirt. Had 1st-degree burns and we really got in trouble for that one. Gave my little brother X-Lax and told him it was chocolate when we were under 10. I knew it would give him diarrhea, but I didn't know how badly. It was fricked up. I tried to poison my mom's boyfriend. I was probably around 11. I had one of those science kits from the Scholastic Book Fair. I took the citric acid and dumped the whole container into his drink. He sipped it and just said, "This tastes like crap," and dumped it out lol. This made me laugh. Imagine being so happy you're going to kill the person you hate, just to watch them pour out your hard work and planning. Found a dead squirrel. Put it in my Tootsie Roll piggy bank. Kept it under my bed for a while. I thought death was interesting. I was around 8 or so. In 7th grade, my best friend asked me if I would go and ask the boy she liked if he liked her and if he would go out with her. I went over and asked him if he liked her. He said no. Then I asked if he liked me. He said yes. And then I asked him to be my boyfriend. He said yes. Then I went right back to my friend and told her that he didn't like her, but that he liked me and was now my boyfriend. I don't know why I did that. Cha-cha real smooth. I was pretty young when this happened, maybe 13 years old. I was in a hot tub with my friends and I thought I had to fart. It was not a fart. Pooped in my bathing suit, so I casually grabbed it with my hand and while no one was looking and dropped it behind the hot tub. Friends and I would hang out on a side street with a 1-gallon gas can and a lighter. When we saw a car coming, one of us would run across the street while pouring gas and the other friend would light the gas after he was clear. That's some gummo crap lol. I flipped off people while going for a walk with my parents when I was 5. I didn't realize that was a bad thing to do. My sister told me flipping the middle finger was swearing at God when I was around 5, and I thought she meant swearing to God, as in it's something you're supposed to do when you made promises. My butt was walking around church with my middle finger up till some kind older teenager finally gently told me to put it away. Dropped a rope out of my 2nd-story window, tied it to a plastic tricycle, asked my neighbor if he wanted to go for a ride, and lifted him up to the window with the help of my brother and sister. Then we dropped him and caught the rope before he hit the ground. It was stupid, but none of us had parents responsible enough to watch us or teach us anything. In 7th grade, I lit a poster on fire that was hanging on the basement wall adjacent to my parents' indoor heating oil tank. Eat coins. But I would just bite and suck on them. I made my brother and his friends a jug of Kool-Aid with water from the toilet. Some friends drank some spilled cola out of the ground because they believed it would give them superpowers. Long story short, they did not get superpowers. I helped a Jewish kid steal a Christmas tree. He complained his family never had a Christmas tree. I feel like this could be the plot of a movie. I still cringe when I remember that I asked my 6th grade teacher what a BJ was because some older kids kept talking about it. She was cool though and told me. I had a notebook that I proceeded to fill with drawings. Each page was a scene like a comic book. It told the pictorial story of a woman getting pregnant and giving birth with graphic detail. Detail according to my 7-year-old understanding of how birth worked. My older brother pee me off so I pee in a super soaker. Dominance. My cousin and I were like 7ish or so and playing upstairs in a room by ourselves. My aunt left her sewing machine and they're ready to go. We were fascinated by how fast the needle moved up and down when we stepped on the foot pedal. Then we had the idea to see who could get their finger out of the way before the needle started moving. He went. Safe. I went. Safe. He went. Blood shot out and screaming commenced. When I was 13, the blizzard of 93 rolled through, holding me captive for 2 weeks indoors with my family. I was lonely, frisky and hadn't seen a female in 2 whole weeks. I was dying to get out of the house one day when I had one of the most brilliant ideas. I made my way to the woods behind my house, climbed down into a gully. In that gully is where I made her, a snow woman. She was amazing. I sculpted her out of snow covering the ground so I could lay on top of her. I gave her some boobs, some curves and a hole, and for some reason, a smile and 2 rocks for eyes to gaze into. I removed my gloves, unzipped and got busy. When I finished, I brushed myself off and erased her, climbed out of the gully, through the woods and back inside to my room and listened to Counting Crows for an hour or so. And never has another woman been able to compare to that fleeting tryst in the gully. When I was in 2nd grade, I said my teacher was stabbing kids with pencils. The others were brought in one at a time and questioned. This did not happen and I remember the teacher fondly and have no idea why I did it. I guess for the same reason most kids randomly do crap, to see what happens next. When I was 8, I stole my father's nickel collection and spent it on penny candy. I used to have a couple bullies in the 1st grade. One day they decided it would be a good idea to strap me to a bench and strip me. So you know what I did? I crapped my pants right then and there. They never bothered me again. Dominance, heck yeah. Pooped my pants when I was like 5. Didn't want to tell anyone, so I dropped it in the heater duct in my room. House got sold and we moved away not long after. Unrelated. I love when kids try to hide things they don't want anyone to find, and the fricking garbage can is not the most obvious place to put it. I would make animal tails out of paper, tape them to my butt, then pretend I was said animal and run around on all 4s, making animal noises. I did not turn out to be a furry, however. Once when pretending to be a ring-tailed lemur I pranced straight into a closed glass patio door. Maybe that smacked the furry out of me. I put countless rocks on the train tracks in hopes of derailing it. Filled a super soaker with rubbing alcohol and sprayed fire. So basically attempted mass murder. My friend and I ripped and stole pages out of a neighbor's Cosmo that had pictures of boobs. I think it might have been for breast self-exams. We were 10-year-old girls at the time and got totally busted by my parents. That same friend and I got into a different neighbor's trash bags after Thanksgiving and decided to sample some of their leftovers. What the actual frick? Kids are so strange. Hey, we didn't eat fricking garbage, so don't call us weird. Went to the cinema dressed as a ninja for attention. On 1991, after seeing Mike Tyson getting arrested on the news, I asked my dad what debauchery was, and he told me it meant hurting a girl. So you can picture 7-8-year-old me running to the teacher to say stuff like, "Teacher, come. Jack, John and George are debauching Molly on the playground," or threatening my classmates with debauchery if they were annoying me, boys included, cause I thought this way I was also insulting them by calling them girls. I remember my dad reading the Bible to us one night and I asked what a virgin was. He said it meant a girl who had never slept with a man. I thought he meant literally sleep because I was like 4, and whatever the context was implied that being a virgin was a good thing, so I felt bad for not being a virgin because sometimes I had nightmares and slept in my parents' bed. My parents used to peel apples because kids can have trouble swallowing and chewing the skin. I was upset I wasn't allowed it, and when they weren't looking I took the skin out of the garbage and ate it. You showed them. When I was probably 10, I practiced my golf swing on 20-30 toads in my driveway. I am over 50 now and think about it often. Genocide. I took a dump in a plastic bag and hid it in my closet for reasons. Also used to stick my wang out between the curtains of my bedroom window after bedtime when I first started getting boners because the risk of being seen was thrilling. I lived on a busy street. Guess I was a born exhibitionist. Once pee on a kid through a chain link fence while my friends and I were chatting with him and his brother. As a teenager I used to stick my dong in the bath drain while the water drained out. Yeah, no, for the suction feeling. I used to work for a large hot tub manufacturer as a designer. We had to account for this behavior in our designs. When I was in first grade a girl wouldn't let me in her club. So the next morning our teacher took away her sunglasses because she was wearing them during class. During recess I snuck into the classroom and placed the sunglasses in the girl's desk. Then I told the teacher when we got back that I saw her take her sunglasses back during recess. My teacher believed me. The girl denied it. The teacher pushed down her desk and the sunglasses were there. She got in trouble for not only stealing but for lying about it. No one ever found out it was me all along. And that is just one story of why I am going to heck. There was a kid named Jeff that was a real butthole in 5th grade and I went to the bathroom and wrote, "Frick, Jeff," on the bathroom door and a grown-up actually fell for it or didn't give a crap because Jeff was a dong. Either way he went down for it. Growing up in the 80s, every time I swore my parents threatened to wash my mouth out with a bar of soap. I got tired of hearing it, so the next time they made the threat I went to the bathroom, came back with a bar of soap and with a smile on my face proceeded to scrub my mouth with it. Can't make it a punishment if I enjoy it. This has the same energy as breaking all the dishes the first time you're asked to scrub them so that you never have to do the dishes again. Threw bullets into a campfire. We were sitting around to see what would happen. My stepmom was abusive to me, so when she'd fall asleep I'd say mean things to her hoping she'd hear it in her dreams. More stupid than fricked up. This is cute and sad. I put liquid soap on my siblings' toothbrushes for April Fools because I read about it as a prank somewhere. I took my holidays very seriously. I did this to myself when I was around 4 because we were out of toothpaste. My friend and I hid underneath the desk during a fire drill in 2nd grade. We both got an F for conduct that day. My mom was P. Not sure duck and cover works for fires. Threw 2 big bags of hamster bedding through my fan and acted like a news forecaster and acted like it was snowing and parents woke up to my room being covered in over an inch of bedding. Needless to say I didn't own the hamster anymore. This one made me laugh hardcore. Then, wonder what happened to the hamster. I don't know if it would be considered fricked up, but my brother and I made homemade darts drum push pins. The pins used to hold dress shirts at stores and would throw them at each other. They would stick in our skin and wiggle and we would laugh our asses off. My brothers and I figured out that if you pull the suction cap off of Nerf darts, you could put a push pin, the colored ones for a cork board, in it and would fire normally. And of course we shot the crap out of each other. My sister and I would ask our friends a question. If they answered wrong we would be like, "You dumbass donkey," and ride the person while making donkey noises saying "walk, donkey, you stupid butt," and so on. A friend once said New York was the capital of the states and we fricking rode him for half an hour. Lots of dead animals and stories about poop, and this is what you bring to the party. When I was little I'd ask for a bowl of ice cream and wait for it to melt, then dunk my big toe in it and suck it off my toe. Man, what the frick? You have been visited by the wealth rat. Subscribe in 12 seconds and he will share his wealth with you. Like and subscribe, you magnificent person.